Hello and welcome to Three Questions with. Got my friend Bonnie Murphy with us. Bonnie is a mortgage person. Hey Bonnie, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for having me on today.
So Bonnie, obviously we just recently met, but one of the things that I liked about you is you have experience in the back room with the mortgage. And I
Yes.
find that my friends that have been in the processing side really understand mortgages. They know right away, hey, this is going to be an issue. Have you found that to be an advantage for yourself?
I feel like it has been hugely helpful to have my back office experience because my conversations with people are so much more fluid. If they have questions about things further down the line, more than just the initial pre-approval call, I am ready with an answer to guide them as far as what to expect in the process that's about to happen with them. So there's so much transferable experience from the back office as far as underwriting, conditions, title rundowns, all the things that are kind of intimidating to other people who just become a loan officer without any past loan experience. That stuff is not scary to me. It's actually something, it's a good flex, I guess, when I'm talking to customers to be able to have those answers.
So Bonnie, what amazes me is people go out on that proverbially Sunday drive. They see the house they want. They go in and put an offer in, and they're like, I should probably get qualified for a mortgage. So it's kind of backwards because obviously if you want to buy a house, even if it's this coming spring, the earlier the better you talk to yourself to find out, hey, are there any issues in your credit report, the better.
I would absolutely say the earlier the better. I have tons of people who reach out to me about a year before they're actually buying. And that helps to eliminate any surprises later down the road, any credit issues, anything, personal in their life that they may need time to prepare for before taking on a new responsibility of having a mortgage payment. So I would absolutely say the earlier the better. If you have a loan officer and you talk to them and they said a year is too early and they're just kind of not working with you, I would say do not work with that person. You should have someone guiding you through the process. They should have a vested interest in your future, whether it's you're buying next month or you're buying a year from now. I would say the sweet spot would be like 3 to 6 months, but a year is better. So if you can, definitely chat with someone earlier rather than later.
So Bonnie, these are really crazy times in real estate where you're seeing offers coming in 20, $50,000 over asking. And that makes a big difference, obviously, in your mortgage payment. So
Yes.
it's good for people to talk to you and understand, okay, this is what we're qualified for, but also it has to come down to your comfort level. I've had that experience, you're qualified for this, but yeah, but I'm not comfortable spending that. But we get caught in this bidding war. Next thing we know, our payment just went up $150 that we weren't prepared for. People have to be careful of that, right?
I would say that I'm so happy that you brought that up because that is in my initial conversation with every borrower that I talk to. I want to know, what payment are you comfortable with? I have a couple, I was working with them the other day. I could get them over $400,000 for their pre-approval. When I told them that that monthly payment with all expenses included is about to be $2,500, we dropped them back down to $275 to get them back to the $1,500 to $1,700 payment that they're actually comfortable with. Just because you can get approved for a huge mortgage amount doesn't mean that you're, ready to take on that type of responsibility. It's a lot. It's more than just your actual mortgage payment. There's taxes, there's insurance, sometimes there's mortgage insurance depending on how much down payment you're going to put down, and every $100 adds up. So I would say go by what you're comfortable with, like you said, versus what could you possibly get approved for. It can get ridiculous.
One of the things I see, Bonnie, actually two things I see is people, I call it old school. They still think, hey, I need to put 20% down. Well, that's kind of gone away. But sometimes people don't think about how much they're paying in rent. I met people, they live in a beautiful condo. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. You're like, yeah, I'm paying $2,200 a month for it for rent. I'm like, Bonnie, have you considered buying a house? Why? I can't afford that. You probably can. So people should kind of think about how much they're spending in rent and maybe reach out to say, hey, what would a house look like if I had a $2,200 payment? Make sense?
Yes. It absolutely does make sense. And I love having that initial conversation with people as far as, okay, what are you paying in rent right now? Because you could potentially buy something similar to what you're living in with just like 3 months of a down payment for what they're already paying in rent. And I know for most people, it seems like, oh, how could I ever start saving money while I'm paying rent at the same time? But it's like, if you can get really serious and really dedicated for a few months to just save that 3% down payment, it's going to change the rest of your life. I mean, it's worth having that conversation to find out what could I get approved for based on, you know, the lowest down payment, because there's even loans that offer 0% down payment for veterans or people under a certain income level. So that's something that I chat with people about too, if they're nervous about their down payment amount.
So Bonnie, how can people reach out to you? How can they learn more?
I would say definitely my cell phone is the best way to reach me. It's 781-635-7483. I am also on Instagram at Bonnie Buys Houses on Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Bonnie Murphy LO.
Bonnie, I really should take a few minutes to jump on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thanks, Kevin.